Don't get left out in the cold when AI starts eating finance jobs, because it's not coming for finance as a career. It's coming for the parts of your job that were never worth the human salary in the first place. So let's talk about who actually freezes and who's going to end up with a lot more heat than ever. If you're in wealth management, banking, sales, and trading, or just trying to break in, this is a breakdown of what's probably going to be changing, who's going to win, who loses, and what you need to do next. Let's debunk the scary headline. MIT's latest iceberg index says AI is technically capable of replacing about 12% of U.S. workforce across finance, healthcare, and professional services. That's a little over $1 trillion worth of work that machines could handle with existing tech. That sure sounds like a job apocalypse, until you look at what's actually happening to the people doing those jobs. Vanguard looked at the occupations most exposed to AI, the ones everyone says should be getting wiped out. Those workers have seen real wage growth around 3.8% versus 0.7% for everyone else. Now remember, real wage growth is your increase in income versus inflation, so you're actually doing better. Employment growth is stronger too. This is not a robot takes your job story. It's a robot eats the boring parts and forces you to prove your worth story. AI doesn't replace jobs in one clean shot. It replaces tasks. Every role in finance is a bundle of tasks. And AI is going line by line. Anything repetitive, rules-based, or text-heavy is on the chopping block. Anything that requires judgment, trust, or navigating gray areas stays with humans for now. So in practice, that means your job gets split in half. Your risk is not that AI steals your job. Your risk is that 50 to 70% of what you do for a living is in the left column. What people think this job is. Client-facing associates is where AI changes the job the most, and almost nobody explains this clearly. Titles vary: client associate, relationship associate, sales assistant, junior advisor, but the function is pretty much the same. You sit between four things: the client, the advisor, the firm, and the systems. Most people think this role is admin: notes, emails, calendars, paperwork, CRM updates, and historically that's true. That's how firms staffed it. Not because it was strategic, but because it was cheaper than hiring another senior advisor to do this. In reality, this role is about situational awareness. You hear the client's tone change. You notice hesitation. You catch confusion that never makes it into the notes. You understand the history, the personalities, the landmines. That's the real job. What AI is going to take cleanly and permanently is the mechanical stuff. It's really good at mechanical, the layer. It already does or will very soon do meeting transcriptions and summaries, auto-logging emails and calls, drafting follow-ups, agenda prep, pulling client history, suggesting template next steps. These aren't future features, they're live. So the role doesn't disappear, it tilts. Less typing, less chasing, less clerical work, more interpretation, more judgment, more live room awareness. Your value becomes catching what the model missed, knowing when a recommendation doesn't fit the client, managing the room during the meetings, translating generic output into human language, navigating gray area compliance and firm politics. The model drafts. You decide what actually goes out. The good news is this role becomes more interesting and more visible. Bad news, if your value is moving information from one box to another, automation loves you. That seat goes away. Now let's take that same framework and move it one seat over. So if you're a junior advisor or trying to become one, AI doesn't kill the career. It kills the apprenticeship part built on paperwork. Let's talk about the old way first. Historically, juniors earned their stripes by building plans, updating models, running projections, prepping review decks, handling the paperwork. Not because it was valuable, because it had to be done. It was necessary. AI is going to collapse that timeline. It can already draft full financial plans, run scenarios instantly, build model portfolios, compare products on fees and features. That used to take days, now it takes minutes. So your value shifts fast. You get paid for running discovery conversations, asking better questions, coaching clients when markets suck, explaining trade-offs people don't want to hear, specializing in a niche where you understand the human side better than a script. This is great if you like people. This is terrible if you thought advising was mostly just math and forms. The good news is you skip years of admin work and get to real advisor work faster. The bad news is there's nowhere to hide. If you can't handle conversation, AI exposes that really quickly. Now I'm going to talk about The group that's most anxious, the career changers. If you're 40, 45, 50, thinking about switching into advising, listen carefully. You're not behind. You're early for this version of the job. Most career changers think they're competing with 25-year-olds who are better with tech. That's the wrong comparison. AI actually levels the technical playing field. It handles math, projections, paperwork, comparisons. Everyone gets the same intern. Your edge is life experience. You understand careers, layoffs, businesses, kids, aging parents, risk, and regret. You can sit across from someone and talk about decisions that actually matter from experience. Remember, AI is your intern. Your experience is the product. However, if you refuse to touch the tools, you lose. If you embrace them, you're going to compress that learning curve so tight. Now let's go to the desks. Now we're going to talk about the trading desks. Everyone hears AI trading and picture human beings getting wiped off the floor. That already happened, just not to the people they think. In liquid electronic markets, equities, rates, FX, vanilla options, a lot of the mechanical work is already automated. AI and algorithms already handle quote optimization, spread management, order routing, execution timing, risk limits set inside the rules. That's not new. That's been happening for years. If your job was clicking a mouse faster than the next guy, that job was never long for this world anyway. Automation doesn't replace traders. It replaces execution labor. And those are not the same things. Execution is about how to trade. Trading is about what to trade, when not to trade, and how much risk you're actually taking. Humans still own the hardest part of trading. Illiquid products when the data is like thin or unreliable, you can't find anything. Structured trades with bespoke terms because everyone has to do their own thing. Market stress when the correlations break. Situations where the freaking model's backtest stops working. Client conversations when the P&L is nothing but red. When the model starts throwing answers you don't trust, that's when the humans get paid. Look, every model works until it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it falls fast. In real markets, you get regime changes, liquidity disappearing, news that doesn't fit the data set, counterparties behaving irrationally. AI is great at patterns. It's terrible at this feels wrong. And that feeling matters. If you're a junior on a desk, here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't get paid for memorizing buttons anymore. You get paid for understanding why the model recommends a trade, knowing when not to run it, explaining risk to someone who's nervous, catching edge cases before they blow up. If all you do is watch screens and escalate alerts, you're competing with the software. For sales traders, the shift is even cleaner. AI can price faster. It can quote tighter. It can simulate scenarios. What it can't do is read a client's hesitation, know when they're fishing versus serious, talk someone out of a bad trade, manage relationships when the markets get chaotic. The better the tools, the more valuable good judgment becomes. Who wins in trading? Not the fastest clicker, not the best Excel jockey. The winners are people who understand products deeply, people who can think probabilistically, not mechanically, people who know when to override the model, people clients trust when things go sideways. AI doesn't replace that. It amplifies it. If your value is execution, you're done. You're gone. You may not know it yet, but you're out of here. If your value is judgment, structure, and risk ownership, you're not being replaced. You're being armed. Let's be precise about investment banking jobs, because that's where people either get panic or they get complacent. AI is not eliminating bankers. It's eliminating busy work as a justification for headcount. That's a big difference. Historically, banks stuffed large analyst classes for one reason, to absorb pain. Long hours, manual Excel, comps, screeners, pitch books. That grind wasn't a rite of passage. It was a workaround for limited tools. AI is already very good at first drafts, initial financial models and sensitivities, comparable company screens, boilerplate industry slides, market summaries, precedent polls, draft pitch text. These used to take days. Now they take minutes. This is the part that the juniors need to understand. The first draft was never the job. The job was knowing what to do with it. AI gives you answers. It does not give you judgment. So analyst and associate values shift. Framing the right question before the model runs. Stress testing assumptions. Catching edge cases the model misses. Sounds familiar. Understanding where comps break down. Telling a coherent story management can follow. If you can't explain it, you don't understand it. People are saying analysts should start thinking earlier now, but that's kind of vague. You're expected to question the output, push back on bad assumptions, flag inconsistencies, say this doesn't make sense before it goes to the VP. That used to happen years later. Now it happens in year one. This is fantastic news if you're good. You get higher quality reps, more visibility, more responsibility earlier, less time wasting energy on mechanical garbage. Bad news for the mediocre ones. And here's the part nobody sugarcoats. If your value is being willing to grind spreadsheets without thinking, you're exposed, you're done. Checkbox analysts don't age well in an AI world. There's nowhere to hide behind volume anymore. Now, for the associates and VPs, AI is not going to replace the judgment, it amplifies it. It helps you run more scenarios, pressure test deals faster, see downside cases earlier, communicate trade-offs more clearly. But it also removes your excuses. You can't blame the model if the story doesn't hold together. Does this mean fewer analysts overall? Yes, it does, but not zero. It means smaller classes, higher expectations, and less tolerance for people who can't think independently. So here's a real deal on investment banking. AI removes the suffering, not the skill. If you understand the business, the model makes you faster. If you don't, it exposes you faster. That's the trade-off. Every time this industry changes, people swear it's the end. It never is. The work just gets harder to fake. AI didn't break finance. It made it honest. If you bring real value, this is a gift. If you don't, it's a problem. I'll break down each role in future videos: advisors, client associates, trading, banking, entry level. No hype, no panic, just how to play it. This isn't over. It's just getting sorted.